Hi everyone, I'm Deberia from Deberia's Naturals and K-Suska Evolutionary Empowerment, and Spirit told me to revisit the karmic storm energy, and then we're going to see what else the divine has to say to us, So I did this video on a karmic storm a couple months ago, letting you guys know there was some energy coming in that was going to be distributing karma, and I call it the karmic storm because it's a cluster. It's like a cluster energy, and it's like multiple series of events. Multiple things happen during a storm. The wind is blowing, it's raining, it's thundering, it's lightning. You may have a tornado, you may have a hurricane, you may have a rainstorm, you may have a shower, you may have, you might have a lightning storm. There's different kind of storms. You might have a sandstorm. Yeah, that's going to be pretty abrasive. So, I feel like we might be about to go through. There's a sandstorm energy. I'm not going to say we're about to go through it because everybody is not affected by every storm. Everyone is affected by a different storm because everyone is in a different area. So, let's apply this natural thing to our spiritual world, which is also natural. I may be in a different place physically. I may be in a different place financially. I may be in a different place emotionally, mentally than someone else is. So the storm that affects emotions may affect that person, will affect that person definitely differently than it will affect me. A storm that affects finances will affect that person differently than it affects me. And this is not to say, oh, I'm emotionally stable, so I won't be affected. I'm financially stable, so I won't be affected. No. Because you could be financially stable, and the storm has come to show you what it feels like to be on the other side of that. And that's not telling you that negative things are happening to you, but I'm telling you the storm has its own sentient, divine purpose, and that all things that happen for that divine purpose and in divine order, in divine timing. So there isn't really a meaning to trying to decode, oh, this is happening to that person for this reason or this person for this one, because we don't really know. Is according to everyone's personalized lesson plan, the karmic distribution of energy. So hold on for a second. I realized I left my notebook. Abracadabra. There's a notebook here. Okay. So, I also took time out to eat something. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, my cup says my cat was right about you. Anyway. Divine Feminines. Why did Spirit just point that out to me? That means something to somebody. Okay. Twin Flame Collective, y'all, please don't take over this video right now. Not yet. I go with the flow of things, but y'all be carrying me away. I have a lot of channel messages. And yes, I'm sitting here drinking my tea and it says my cat was right about you. And I immediately thought about the Divine Feminine, saying that energy to the Divine Masculine. Why? Y'all, wow. Anyway, somebody expect the reconnect with your masculine to be very passionate. Yeah, that's the channeled message from that. But I have multiple channeled messages, so I wrote them down as I was channeling. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about this retrograde energy. Today is the last day of Mercury Retrograde, which is 6/2/2022, which is like, 626, and it is 2:02 as we are doing this message. So I'm going to pay attention to the significance of all that because I stopped and paused and did other stuff and everything. So 2:02 at 626, which is 12, 13, 14, which is the number 5 for the date So the number 5 represents change. Now, I've done in a past video, I think it was on my last live video, which I will download and upload to YouTube, that the energies were very volatile, and I've looked up the definition of volatile, and it meant something that could change rapidly, or something that can be dissolved in water or something like that. But basically, when you're talking about something being dissolved in water, water is also a representational energy of emotion. It works. Water energy deals with emotion. It deals with cleansing. It deals with the spirit. And if something is dissolved in emotion, dissolved in cleansing, dissolved in spirit, then it is purified. So the energy is being purified with the volatile energy is being purified. There's a purification process through the element of water. So at this time, it's best that you do like cleansing rituals. You may feel the need to take more baths. Also, many of us have, I'm getting so many messages other than what I was about to write, so I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a little bit. It's because the microphone is open and I probably need to go and get a scarf or something, because wow, this channel's open. Hold on, you guys. Okay, I have to close off some of the energy because too much comes in sometimes. Cleansing through water, rituals, purification. Ascension Symptoms. I have a video on Ascension Symptoms on my TikTok, and I am going to give a few of them here, and I'm going to do a separate video about Ascension Symptoms. Many of us are experiencing Ascension Symptoms, and among them have been sweating at night. Like when you sleep, your air conditioner could be blowing ice cold and you are drenched in water when you wake up. You'll notice that there's a lot, maybe sweating around your neck. I've had clients talk to me about this, and family members as well who were experiencing these Ascension Symptoms. I'm having ringing in my ears, and they itch. I'm sorry, psychic itch. They're like, first of all, I cut off some of the channels, and so they're like, hey, we still got something to tell you, and they're like, got my ear ringing. Y'all give me a chance. So Ascension Symptoms, you may be experiencing like a lot of sweating around your neck because this is your throat chakra, and your throat chakra is opening up so you can speak your truth and be your authentic self. And there have been a lot of people who have had silencing spells put on them or their divine counterparts, and it affected them spiritually as well because they're joined, these twin flames. There have been spiritual work that has been done on people in a negative manner, not in a healing manner, that is coming off of those people at this time. It's a purification process. Now, some people have had like a lot of sweating in their cranial area, like their hair sweats maybe more than usual. They felt like maybe the back of their neck the back of their head was really sweating a lot. They felt a lot of cranial pressure, and I had times myself when I awakened and my head felt like a giant eyeball. Like I felt so open and expanded, and I felt like I could see everything, but it felt like one big giant, my whole head felt like one giant eyeball. That's how I described it because psychic energy is something different. But I've had clients express they had a lot of cranial pressure, and they said their head felt like a balloon, or like, well, everyone's going to describe it a different way. I felt like it was a giant eyeball because I felt like my eyes were bucked, like big. That's how I felt. Anyway, the purification through water. You may have also experienced some sweating around your breast area, women or men, your chest. Men have breasts too. They just aren't functional for feeding infants. Most women don't use theirs to function as feeding infants, which is something that I wasn't going to say, but Spirit wants me to say this. Women, you need to breastfeed your children. You need to give your children the opportunity to get those antibodies and nutrients. Your body is a whole computer operating system. I mean, it is a self cleaning system, and it's amazing what the female body can do, what we can do, women. It's amazing. And you know, as you go through this life and you encounter illnesses and diseases and, you know, viruses in the air, they go through this filtration process in your nose, through your little nose hairs. Then they go all up inside your body as you just breathing, or you mouth breathing, or you eat this stuff, and your body goes through a whole processing system. And sorts things out on the inside, unconsciously, subconsciously. You don't know that you're sick if you're sick until your subconscious tells your body, hey, I've done everything on my level. On my level, I need to escalate this to your conscious mind and tell you to go check this out because I need help. And that's what you, when you experience a symptom of sickness, that's what has happened. Your subconscious and your body has done everything that it can do, and it's saying, hey, send out a warning signal. Tell them we got a little sniffle here, it's getting a little out of hand. You know, send out a warning signal. We got a little itch here that's getting out of hand. You know, send out a warning signal. We got a little cough here that's getting out of hand, and I need some assistance. Now, your body does this for your babies. If you have children, if you have young infants, your body will go through this whole filtration system. Women, and a lot of you guys do not know this, but and this must be something the most I want y'all to know about, whoever is watching me who got a small child. Your baby is sick. Your baby has the sniffles. When you breastfeed your child, just like the baby is pulling, there's a suction action that takes in some of that baby's saliva into your nipple, and your areolas have sensors around it. They have sensors, and when the baby's lips and saliva goes into those sensors, it says, okay, the baby has a fever. Okay, release this chemical right here, put that in the breast milk, lower the baby's temperature. Okay, the baby has a runny nose. This right here says the baby's, the white blood cell count is up because the baby has a little sickness or a little infection or a little virus or whatever. Release that into the milk. Okay, so when you first, hey, these are all the bacterias and diseases and illnesses and viruses that you have counted over your lifetime. Well, let's pass this antiviral. Let's pass this immunity over to the child. Let's make it so that when this baby grows up, this baby is immune to those things through your milk. Now, other things that take place too. Your milk will even change color and consistency, so it will not always be white or yellowish. Or sometimes women produce milk that looks kind of greenish in nature. It depends on what they have eaten, and it also depends on what the baby needs. So if you eat a lot of vegetables, for instance, and the baby needs a lot of iron or whatever, your body's going to crave what it is that you need to feed that baby at that time. Now, for those people who are having young infants and they do not breastfeed, do not want to breastfeed, baby, if you my camera went out. I don't know if it registers on here when my camera goes out, but my screen goes black. Read the labeling on the milk that you maybe used to give your child if you were not breastfeeding and you were feeding formula, and look for an alternative that has those same things in it, and adjust the dosage, the amount of the powder that you use. Now, for you, even though this is not where I was going, I'm going to look this up for you right quick. Hold on. Okay, so I looked it up, and I'm going to invite you to do your own research. But there are protein shakes and powders that are not labeled infant formula. They are labeled for adults. If you read the back, you will see they have many of the same ingredients and makeup. You just need to adjust the amount you put in the water, and there's an alternative for your children, for your infants, for your babies to drink. Okay, just to give you that. There are other ways. This is why, you guys, there are different attacks that are being done on people, on the general population, for population control. So if you for instance have a pandemic, and the pandemic affects the weak and the elderly, but the elderly have the knowledge of how to survive when there's no formula, when there's no government assistance. They know how to make milk. There is arrowroot. Let me look it up again. Arrowroot is a It's a root. It's an herb. So I was told in the past but I'm going to like the cross-reference stuff. I get a lot of information. People share a lot of information with me. Arrowroot. I'm trying to see, you guys. I'm going to pause it while I look it up. Okay. It says, while there cannot be a substitute for the mother's milk for a baby. This is me doing a Google search. There cannot be a substitute for a mother's milk for a baby. Arrowroot is an ideal replacement for the same when the baby needs to be weaned off breast milk. Its benefits for the stomachs and high nutritional content make it perfect for a baby. So you can take arrowroot and mix it in the water to give the baby nutritional supplements and benefits. There are other ways of doing this. Again, you guys, hold on, let me see it. Something just popped up. Yeah. Look up health benefits of arrowroots for babies. Yeah, and you can look this up. The strategy. If you get rid of the people who know how to make the things that are necessary for your survival without all this processed or manufactured or genetically modified means of nutrition or food intake, you get rid of those people with a sickness, a virus, and then you attack the baby. So you've attacked the elderly, and now you're attacking the babies by taking away their means of survival after you've already told the women and the mothers, oh, you don't have to breastfeed. You can use formula. Oh, breastfeeding causes your breasts to sag, and breastfeeding blah blah blah. They give you a lot of these negative connotations. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. You know, I can't do it. Maybe what if you don't produce enough milk? Then you take, there are herbal supplements you can take. There's teas you can drink. There are lactation specialists you can speak to. Even if you produce a little bit, you learn how to eat better. You learn how to eat better so you can produce this milk for your children. You don't ask the right questions because you don't know the questions to ask, because you never had, you've been given information, you've been fed information, but you haven't been fed the truth that you have the right to know, and you have the right to ask questions. And the more the questions you ask, whenever I talk to somebody, I ask so many questions. They're excited. Someone wants to know the knowledge that's locked inside of their brain, the thing they went to school to learn, the thing that they are experts in. But you don't ask, then it becomes monotonous, and they're like, these people don't really care about what I know. Let me just punch these numbers in and add this up and pass them this paper. So there are alternative methods. You need to talk to people who live more natural lifestyles. You need to Google and look this stuff up. And Google not going to always tell you the truth on it, because it's going to tell you the truth, but there are some sites that aren't going to tell you everything. They're going to relay it back to, oh, this hasn't been tested by the FDA, hasn't been approved by the Food and Drug Administration, blah blah blah. Well, the Food and Drug Administration is man-made, but the actual food that's created for your body or genetic makeup comes from the earth. Who needs to approve it? Why do you need a man-made association to approve something that God created specifically for you? So that's just something, to look into, and to be mindful of. That, they also, I've heard, because I don't watch the news, you guys. I don't look at those things, because that's televised vision, and that's mass media, and it's meant to feed you, tell lies to your vision and affect your cognitive perception, your perception of reality. It's created for that purpose, to feed you illusions. Because if I tell you that all the cars are blue, you'll start seeing more blue cars than you see any other color until all you see is blue, if you believe me. If I make that statement convincing enough. Because you will begin to create that and manifest that into your reality. But if I tell you there's a food shortage and you believe me, then you will begin to perceive, oh, there's no food on the shelves. But there's plenty of food on the shelves. Nature creates everything we need. There don't have to be food on the shelves. There's food all around you. Food grows in your backyard. Food grows in your front yard. Food grows through the cracks of the sidewalk. Those dandelions you like to cut up, those dandelions you like to say, oh, them weeds, get them out of here. Those dandelions purify blood. They're blood purifiers. You can take the petals from a dandelion and put them in your salad, and it's very beneficial to your body. You can take the root from that and boil it, or you can dry it out, or however, you can make a tea. And these things are very healing and beneficial. And dandelions grow in your yard. You have a blood purifier that grows in your yard. Many of you, those little weeds y'all see that grow up in like little clusters, and you're like, oh, they make my yard look bad. Those have my mom told me what they're called, something wick 222 when I'm saying that. Let's see if it's still in my search. I'm going to look it up. Matter of fact, I'm going to call my mama. I'm going to call my mama and I'm going to get back to you, because I'm going to get the name of that herb and I'm going to show you a picture of it that grows in your yard. It is a weed that is packed with antioxidants, that purifies your blood, that boosts your immune system, and it's a weed in your yard. And you going to the grocery store and you going to the pharmacy, but it's in your yard. Okay. Glitch, glitch, glitch. I'm abracadabra, I'm back. Okay. I just called my mom. And I was asking her, because we were talking about it when we were in the yard, that there was I said, Mama, looks like an herb. Spirit told me this is an herb. And she said, oh yes, that's Henbit. Henbit. It's called Henbit. And it is a weed, a lawn weed. That's what you've been told. It's a lawn weed. And they told you weeds are bad, right? Well, Henbit, and I'm going to show you this picture of it. Henbit is this little plant right here. You've seen it in your yard. It's also called as dead nettle, and it is edible and medicinal. Okay? So, Henbit contains compounds which can induce a fever, especially when brewed and as a concentrated tea. It's also good as a fever inducer, a fever reducer, mild diuretic, which means that it helps relieve water off of your body, and a bloating buster, which means it helps release gas. It's also offers strong digestive support, especially when used as a laxative or tea. So this is what we need to know. What you need to know is that things that you need, nature gives you, because you're a natural. You're not a genetically modified being, and if you are a genetically modified being, then that's, genetically modified foods for you. But you're genetically modified by the earth, so you need earth food. Anyway, my point is, I wanted to share that with you guys, just as an example. Where I was telling you about dandelions, you can look that up at yourself, and then the angels are screaming. Like, it was 2:22 when I paused the video, and it's 2:32 now, so y'all might want to look up those angel numbers. And there needs to be a change. There's a shift that's taking place with these ascension symptoms. You're beginning to become more in tune with nature, and you're beginning to realize that everything you need has already been provided for you, and so you don't go into these tangents and these fits and then these worries or anxieties about when you're told there's a food shortage, or the media expresses to you and makes it lies to your visual that there is not enough of something for someone. So there's always a way. There are also, if you know somebody who else has a baby and she breastfeeding, you know that everybody don't eat in everybody's house. But I remember in my dad, I I was told a story about my dad, but this was after I had done it. My cousin had a baby several months, maybe like April, and I had my baby in September. So we were pregnant at the same time, and she didn't produce enough milk to feed her baby, but she wanted her baby to be breastfed. And so she breastfed her baby up until her milk dried up and she couldn't produce anymore for whatever reasons was going on with her personally, with her health. Then I told her, once my baby is born, I'll share my milk with, but I can give your baby my baby's first milk, because I was actually producing milk before my baby was born, but I wanted my baby to get the first benefits of it. So what I did was, and I explained this to her, find out what, formulas, breastfeed as much as you can up until my baby's born. Once my baby was born, I made sure I told my mom, she was helping me care for my children, and she was preparing my meals because I had a C-section, and she was helping me. And what she did was, and she helped me by preparing my meals, making sure I ate something healthy, because I always produce a lot of milk. So I was producing milk for my baby, and I was pumping milk and putting it in storage bags and freezing it, just big old gallon bags full of stored breast milk, just in the freezer, just layers of it in the deep freezer. And my cousin would come by and she would pick it up, and her baby was so excited to see me because I smelled like milk. And he would pick up coolers. She would take coolers of milk back to put them in her freezer to feed her baby. And I found out later, my mom was like, history repeats itself. That's the same thing that happened to your daddy. That cousin of his that he's so close to, when his mom couldn't feed him, his aunt breastfed him, and so, I just was like, we can work together, y'all. There is no reason why these things should exist. We got prejudices and saying, I don't like that, but they don't give them cows no bath. They ain't bathing them cows when they pumping that milk out and putting it in your grocery store. They even approved a certain amount of pus to go into it. Do you know that? Do you know that? You didn't know that, did you? They're like, yeah, you'll survive, you'll be all right. And then you're wondering why you got so much mucus in your body, because you're drinking mucus from an animal that does not secrete what you need. And that's why it has to be what's it called, you guys? Pasteurized. And you're wondering why your gut messed up, wondering why you're lactose intolerant. Well, most of us are lactose intolerant if who has melanin in their skin, because you don't need to drink milk once you're past the age 5 years old. Did you know that? Once you reach past age 5 years old, you don't need to drink milk, because you go out in the sun and your melanin, turns the sunlight into the vitamin D that you need. Did you know you don't have to drink milk once you're past the age of 5 years old? No, you didn't know that. You know why you didn't know that? Because they're not going to just teach you that. So you're walking around with your gut messed up, bubbling and bloating and pooting and fruiting and booting and burping and whatever, just because you're consuming something that's not made for you. It's very strategic implementation of an agenda. Before any of this happened, what happened to the herbalists? Where are the people who know this information? Do you remember? Do you recall how they just mysteriously began to commit suicide? So, healers who have been hiding, it is time for you to come forward and help these people, because they don't know. They don't know. Those of you with the knowledge, it is time for you to share it. You don't have to, if you're afraid, you don't have to be afraid of anything. This is what you're here to do. This is why you have the knowledge. Looks like that channeled message is for another time, because this message became about us coming together for a common goal, to secure our future, to protect our children. If they told you you cannot breastfeed your child because you had the vaccination, what was in that vaccination that made you not be able to breastfeed your child? That's the question. What is in that vaccination that made it so that your body, which is a divinely created factory of all kinds of functions that we create outside of ourselves to mimic the functions that already naturally happen in the body. A computer is your brain. Cameras and such are your eyes. Smoke detectors are your nose. Everything is the body. So what did they put in that vaccination? That you cannot transmute divine feminine for your child's survival. There's not a motherfucking thing. And if there is, what is it? If nothing can substitute breast milk. If breast milk had the cure for the virus in it, if they had someone doing research, there was a research that was done that breast milk was produced, they was trying to figure out how breast milk was, those who were breastfeeding during the time of COVID, they were doing research to find out, hey, what's going on with these women's bodies that they're producing the cure to this ailment. But I don't want to drink no breast milk. The woman has everything you need. The woman has everything you need. Oh my God. That's what I just heard. The woman got everything you need. Anyway, I'm not going to go no further into that right now, because I think I have said enough. But yo, you don't have to worry, because I'm hearing you don't have to worry, and don't you be afraid. And I'm hearing joy comes in the morning, troubles they don't last always. This is a short period of time. This short period of time, even scripture says weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. This is a dark night. This is a short time frame. Endure. You just have to endure. The race, these are scriptures. The race is not given to the swift, but to they that endure. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Like, your understanding says that there's a food shortage. Your understanding says there's a milk shortage. Your understanding says there's a weed. Your understanding says breast milk is bad and nasty and I don't know what she ate. It don't matter what she ate. Her body's going to transmute that energy and transform that energy. The food is energy, is fuel. It's going to transform it into what it needs to be transformed into for the baby. And the body has a supply and demand mechanism. So breast milk can flow as long as you are eating and putting in the energy, you're getting the rest you need, and as long as there is a demand for it, means as long as there is a someone drinking it or pumping it, as long as the breasts are being stimulated, then the milk can go on for years. I've known people who have breastfed their children for 5 years. I've seen documentaries where this woman had her breast milk for 10 years. You guys can't make it through 3 weeks. What the hell? What the entire hell? The benefits of it. The benefits of it are good, are for the mother and the child. They're healing each other. And, there's actually places overseas, and I feel like, I don't want to say Germany or Switzerland, it's in that area where they have ice cream shops made from breast milk. The ice cream is made from breast milk, so now it's easier to be digested. I can look that up. Y'all, I'm human Google. I spent a lot of time. 242. Little spirits, like, every time I say I'm going to look that up, y'all look up the angel number 242. It's a breast milk ice cream shop. I remember reading about. Unless they done took that thing off the internet. Let's see if it still exists. In London, yes, there was a breast milk ice cream shop in London, and what I remember, that was the most expensive ice cream. That was the most expensive ice cream, you guys. Back in the day when I read about this, I think it was like $100 for a cup of this ice cream, or a cone or something. For a cup of this ice cream was like $100. What does that say about the quality of the product? Someone might argue with you to tell lies to your mind. Oh, that's just because, they probably didn't have that much, They probably didn't have that much breast milk, so they had to raise the price of it, so that they can continue to pay these women to do it. Yeah, that might be the case. But, y'all, do you know the possibilities? You probably don't know the possibilities, because many of you probably didn't breastfeed, or you never been around someone who did, and someone who actually took care of their bodies and ate right and stayed hydrated and stayed rested up. This is why it's important for the feminine to be allowed the opportunity to be in her feminine energy, because she can produce more in her feminine energy in a safe environment. In a stressful environment, she's not going to be able to produce quality that she can produce in a safe environment. This is why the masculines have been attacked, because now she doesn't have the protection that she needs, so she can rest in her feminine energy, so she can produce to her maximum capacity. And then she's forced to operate in her masculine, which takes away the feminine energy from the earth. Now you got a world full of angry men, and men are calling women dude and homeboy and bruh, because she's operating her masculine energy to defend herself. And he senses that. He's like, this is a whole dude. She just got a vagina and some boobs that I can play with every now and then, so he's not seeing her as a woman. He's not seeing her as someone who he needs to protect. So again, telling lies to your vision and manipulating everything. Y'all, our world, it's time to come up out of this damn funk. It's time to come up out of these lies. It's time to come out of this manipulation, where men feel like, you notice that they're starting to change the processes in their brain when they're about to react to you females, as though you are a man, not something that should be handled with care, but someone who should be handled. Because what they'll start to do is they'll start to psychologically and verbally express that you're not looking like a feminine to them. And yes, this ain't putting blame on you women for this. This ain't putting blame on you men for this. This is a collective, this is a cooperative effort. This is a group effort. Everybody got their part they need to play. Everybody. So when he starts saying, when y'all may be in a disagreement and he like, cause dude, bruh, what? Now he's not talking to you. Sweetheart, my love. And you know what? A soft answer turns away wrath. That's for both of you. Calling that woman a dude and bruh, that's going to make the dude and the bro raise up in her, because she feel like, okay, now you're not my protector. Now I feel like I need to be protected from you, because I feel like you're getting aggressive towards me. And he's feeling the same way. Now you're not the feminine. Now I feel like I got to handle you like a dude, because you ain't. But a soft answer turns away wrath. He could call her my love, sweetheart. Calm down. And sometimes she might still snap a little bit, but it depends on whether or not you're manipulative. You're mentally or emotionally manipulative. It's a lot of stuff going on, y'all, that we just need to wake up and pay attention to. And we need emotional, what is this? Not conscience. Maturity. We need emotional maturity, not just on the individual level, not personally just within ourselves, but on a social level. We need to have social emotional maturity. We're not taught that. We're not taught that. This is something we need to learn. These energies, it's going to make us learn, whether you want to or not. You're going to learn to be emotionally mature, because you're going to get your ass karmically whooped until you understand it within yourself, because the ass whooping your mom and daddy didn't give you, and the lessons that your mom and daddy didn't give you, because they getting them too, you getting them, everybody getting them. The karmic ass whooping is an equal opportunity entity. Anybody can get it. Everybody can get it. My baby is 2 years old. My baby pushed his 4-year-old brother, pushed him in the stomach, knocked him on the floor, hurt his feelings. He went at him hard because he knew to hit him in the stomach, because he big and strong and burly. And the little baby, he's just a little stick figure. And he said, if I hit the middle, I'm going to knock him down. And that's what he did. And my baby went back. Oh, his feelings hurt so bad. We couldn't get a hold of him. He's a little shaker. He move and shake. When he run, you can't get him. He know how to strategically catch you. He know when the exact moment that your slow motion old ass arm gonna come out at him, and he know how to dodge it and duck this way. But you know what happened? He dodged and ducked and bumped his head on the table in karma. And I said, my ancestor said, absolutely anybody can get it. Mama ain't got to whoop your ass. You gonna learn spiritually, because you gonna learn anyway. Absolutely anybody can get it. When I see my baby get karma immediately for hurting his older brother, who's also a baby, what makes you think you're not gonna get it? Absolutely. Not getting away with shit anymore. Not waiting until the third and fourth generation for shit to come down. Those of you who have knowledge that you can share to make this world a better place and help someone grow, help someone have a more quality life, please share that knowledge. Please share that information with that person or those people. You don't have to be afraid. The Most High will lead those people to you, who they will be divinely attracted and guided to you. It's the law of attraction. If they are looking for it, the answer will be provided. If you are looking to share your knowledge with anybody, then your knowledge that, I just got to download, got my head feeling like a giant eyeball again. If you are looking to share your information and your knowledge and your gift, then you will be divinely guided to the platform that you are to use for that purpose. And that's the purpose of all these astrological events that is taking place, to put us on our path, to put us in alignment with our soul purpose, with our desires, because ultimately the earth is healing herself, and we're all a part of the earth. And as a part of her body, we are her neurons, we are her neural pathways, we are her consciousness, we are the blood cells, we are the white blood cells, we are the warriors, we are the ones who are meant to clean us up. There has been too long has humanity been the virus. Now it's time for the cure to be administered. Now it's time for the healing to be administered. And that takes place through individually healing your cells first. It's like having some kind of genetic disorder or disease. Not genetic disorder. Having some kind of disease. And if gradually those cells begin to regenerate once they realize that they never had to die. Once you realize that cells regenerate every day, that you get new cells every day. If I got new skin cells every day, why am I aging? Why am I aging when I get new skin cells every day? We have to ask ourselves these questions. Is it something that I'm consuming that's counterproductive to my natural state of being? Is it something that I'm consuming that is counterproductive to my natural state of being? Is it something I'm consuming that is counterproductive to my natural state of being? Is it something that I'm consuming? Is it something that I'm consuming that is counterproductive to my natural state of being? We gotta ask ourselves these questions. I just asked about 4 or 5 questions using the same words. What is counterproductive to your natural state of being? What is counterproductive to your natural state of being? At peace. That's a natural state. Anxiety is not a natural state of being. Stress is not a natural state of being. Sickness is not a natural state of being. Pay attention to nature. You ever see a sick bee? You're able to see any bees. Look into that. You ever seen a sick, undomesticated animal? You ever see a just sick bird? Just you ever see a sick bird? You ever see a sick squirrel? Nah, because they just died. If they were sick, they just died somewhere. So you mean to tell me every undomesticated, untouched by animal that you have observed in nature, if they were sickly, they just went and hid somewhere and died? They didn't. You one of them wouldn't limp past you. You wouldn't see a squirrel coughing, You would see. Oh my God. My point is, anything in its natural state is in its natural state of being. It is when that natural state is interrupted or imposed upon that we experience these alternative states of existence and being that are negative But I'm going to end the video right here. I saw 44.44 and I saw 44.55. And I'm going to close the video right now. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.